she's helped. Today she's here to help us do just that. Please put your hands together and welcome to the virtual stage, Verity Price. Woohoo!
What a lovely intro. I'm just checking you can all hear me. Oh, fabulous. Estelle, thank you for such a lovely intro. You can't see my earrings today. They're disappearing on the virtual background. Oh, District 74. Oh, it is always so good to be with my home district and to be a small part of Roarcon. I love the theme for this year, and hopefully we will all be letting the voice of Africa being heard by the rest of the world. So just wonderful to be with you. I wanted to keep this quite informal, quite fun, as an opportunity for you as members to ask me questions or anything you want to know about the International Speech Contest, about how it helps you find your voice, how it can change your life. But before we do that, I just want to ask, out of interest, because I know we at the height of speech contests and it's on everyone's mind. So maybe just in the chat, just to let me know if you could narrow it down to one thing that you would need to win the International Speech Contest, to become the world champion. If you had to bring it down to one thing the speaker needs to be able to win, what do they need? What do they need to have, or what do they need to do to win? They need authenticity from Namusa. I love that. Keep it coming. Let's hear what we think. They need coaching, storytelling. Absolutely. As someone who coaches a lot of people now, I'll say absolutely. We need confidence. I'm loving we all think we need coaching. Yay. Keep it coming. What else? What do you think you need? And I needed coaching to win. So absolutely. An impactful speech from Buyani, 100%. You have to have an impactful speech. Anyone else, put your voice in the chat. What do you think you need to win, to become a world champion? If you had to narrow it down to one thing you need, keep them coming. I'm loving it. You need courage. You need to be relatable. You need an authentic story, consistency. Absolutely. You have to keep showing up. You have to do the work. Absolutely. Okay. All these things you do need, but there's one thing you need that no one's put in the chat, and that is thank you, Rebecca. You need to enter the contest. Someone got there. You can be the best speaker in the world. You can have the best message, the best story. But if you don't enter the contest, no one's ever going to hear your story. And I know that because I was one of those Toastmasters who entered once in 2012. And at club level, I got beaten by my own sister. And she's 12 years older than me. And there should be rules about beating your younger sister, surely. But yeah, exactly, Granny B. But not only did Kay beat me, she went on working with consistency, with an authentic story, with coaching, all the things you put in the chat. She went on to become the third woman in 56 years to ever win the District 74 contest. She went to the World Semi-Finals with the sixth speech she'd ever given. She really showed that even a new Toastmaster can go all the way because she'd entered. And in her semi-final, she came second to the man who 2 days later became the 2012 World Champion of Public Speaking, Ryan Avery. Now, you know, it was incredible to watch her journey, but it was also absolutely intimidating. And so for a long time, I just didn't enter. I would have an excuse every year. I was busy. I couldn't do it. And I would watch from the sidelines, which is interesting. It's entertaining, but you're never going to know what you're capable of as a speaker if you watch from the sidelines. I entered again in 2015, and I managed to get to the division level where I came third. And at that point, not only was I very disappointed, I was very despondent, but I also made a decision that I'm not going to enter contests. Toastmasters doesn't appreciate my speaking style. What do they know? And I really sat on the sidelines for 6 years. So when I say you need to enter a speech contest to win it, I am not joking. For 6 years, I watched other people win speech contests. And then I left Toastmasters. I left Toastmasters in 2019 to become a mom. And so any dreams or hopes I'd ever had of being in a contest, I let go of. So how on earth did I become a world champion? Well, lockdown had plans for all of us. And in lockdown, I rejoined Toastmasters for the extraordinary community that it gives us. And I don't know about everyone else, but for me in lockdown, just having that safe space, being online, feeling like I wasn't alone as we all connected in our bedrooms was life-saving, if I'm honest. And at the end of 2020, inspired by the 2020 world champion Mike Carr's message in his winning speech, which was, the victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. The victory is in entering, putting your name in the hat. And inspired by that, I decided to enter in 2021 to buy my ticket for the International Speech Contest and to work harder than I have ever worked on anything in my life. Let me tell you, at 3 to 4 hours a day on a speech, I am not exaggerating. I was visiting clubs all over the world. I visited 42 clubs in 16 countries on 5 continents to practice my speeches. And at some point in the contest journey, my husband said to me, Verity, you're not going to the Olympics. Why are you taking this so seriously? And I said, Greg, this is the Olympics of public speaking. And I did. I took it on like this was the Olympics of speaking. And over 7 months, I was incredibly fortunate to keep going through the levels of the contest with extraordinary support from this district. In fact, I speak to other districts to tell them how a district should support their contestants, because the support I had once I was a semi-finalist, I had an amazing Toastmaster, Martha from Zimbabwe, who was helping me find clubs to practice at. When I became world champion, Jasmine Hecht stepped forward to help manage all the requests on my time. So this district really helped to make me a champion. But when I won in August of 2021, it wasn't just a win for me. It wasn't just a win for District 74. It was a win for Africa, because no one from our continent had won this title before. And I was on a mission to make sure that not only would more of our incredible African speakers enter the contest, grow with the contest, because the victory is in the try, not in the result, that we would get our voices out to the world. And I wasn't wrong, because our 2022 world champion, even though he was representing Poland, he's from Zimbabwe, Cyril Jr. Dim. So I am passionate about the speakers in our district entering the contest, using the contest to grow you as a speaker, to grow you as a leader, as a person. Because regardless of the result, only one person is guaranteed to win every year, but everyone else who enters is guaranteed to grow. And I really hope that the speakers in our beautiful district choose the growth every year. And one day soon, we will have another District 74 world champion of public speaking. So that's my story and why I'm so passionate about people entering the contest, growing with the contest. But what questions do you have for me in the time we have? Anything you want to know about speaking, about the contest? I am all yours.
This is your chance to ask absolutely anything for our amazing speaker today. So anyone willing today to have a question to be our next champion of public speaking?
Oh, my socials, I see someone's asking. It's at Verity Price Speaks on all of them. I'll put it into the chat. But Instagram, and I share weekly tips on presenting and finding your voice and being a powerful presenter. So I'd love to have you join me.
I have a question. Verity, excuse me not having my camera on, but it's Aldi in Dallas. We met in 2007. Robin Banks, how are you?
Good, and you, Aldi?
Long time, long time. I was so excited to see because I've just joined Toastmasters in December. Like I'm a brand new baby speaker, and I was so excited to see someone I knew go so far. And so I was delighted to jump on, and I'm not able to put my camera on, but I wanted to. One of the things I wanted to ask you, because again, as I say, it's all very new to me. I absolutely loved your story, and when the way you tell the story, obviously because it's relatable, it's unique, it's enthusiastic, it's authentic. What I'm wanting to ask, because I'm seeing how other people speak and it's early days for me, there's this little recipe, and maybe it's a recipe only my club have presented to me. I'm with Fire Brands in 4 Ways We Meet It in Darba. And it's these are the things that I've been presented with. It's the power of 3. So you repeat
Yeah.
3 things that have the same letter, like chaotic, crisis, and calm, for example. You then make sure you give a quote. You also make sure you have some form of education with a bit of a call to action and a challenge at the end. And then you can bring in something personal and something humorous. Now, obviously, that's a recipe for a starting point when you don't know how to speak and you need some kind of framework. At international level, do they look for all of that, or do they just look? I mean, when I looked at your speech, I wasn't trying to crit all of those elements in it. I was just captivated by a brilliant story. So what are the sort of things that they look for?
Oh, what a great question. And it sounds like your club's giving you lovely stuff to work with. So a few things. So alliteration and the power of 3 works in all communication. And so that is the rhetorical device of repetition. And when it is done well, when it's adding impact to your speech, then having those speakers triplets, we call it, beautiful. You don't always need to have a quote. In fact, when I was being coached for the World Championships, the early versions of my speech revolved around a quote by Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And my coach said, Verity, you need to be the authority on your story. Don't be quoting someone else. So obviously in an educational speech, in a pathway speech, a quote is fabulous, but only use quotes if you're going to share the story of how that quote came to you. So it's not about quoting famous people just for the sake of it. So there's just 2 notes there.
Okay.
Let me have some water. Hold on a second. For the international speech contest, it is generally personal stories that win. It's not an educational opportunity. It's an inspiring opportunity where generally the speaker is sharing a story of a challenge or an obstacle that they faced, and someone or something helped them overcome that obstacle. They changed and they started to change their lives. And once they've shared that change, only then do they do a call to action to the audience. And if that had to be a formula, that would be the formula. You tell a story that makes a point. So that's your message, and it needs to be a nice, I call it a sticky statement, easy to say, easy to repeat, easy to remember. And then you show how you've applied it to your life. And only then do you give the audience a call to action. And so the power of the International Speech Contest lies in your personal lived experience. And Aldine, I'll tell you what I've told people all over the world. I truly believe you could win this contest telling the story of how you learned to boil an egg.
Yes,
It's how you tell
exactly.
the story.
Oh, Verity, that's amazing. And then one last question, because I heard locally, again, I haven't been able to go to many clubs for various reasons, but I will start going. One of the local guys, I believe, who won, I'm not even sure of all the district names, etc., but he told a very personal story about rehab and psychosis, and obviously it was quite a vulnerable, intense story. Are there, I mean, there are women that have been raped, there are women that are overcomers from domestic violence, from addiction, that sort of thing. Is there a limit of how sensitive your story can be, or if it's done beautifully with all the content of what you just shared, that nothing is too personal? Because at the end of the day, it's your story.
So yes and no. It's funny that you asked me that. I'm busy coaching one of the international contestants, and they've sent me a new version, and I had to go back saying, this is beautifully written. It is too raw for the audience to digest in 7 minutes. So in 7 minutes, I spoke about in my semi-final speech, my mom being an alcoholic. I said, wine bottles littered our home. And that is all I said. You know, we took her to rehab, but I made it very humorous that there was people with tattoos and nose rings. I did not go into the trauma of that story. And so you cannot use your speech as therapy. You need to be over the issue by the time you're speaking about it. And my final speech, I talk about hiding in a spare room, eating ice cream, watching Netflix. That was 2 years of radical depression. But they did not need to know that. I humorously glossed over it to go, and I'm running into friends whose lives are perfect. I couldn't use that stage for therapy. So I think for everyone, you can speak about anything, but then I use metaphors. I was looking for the answer at the empty bottom of a bottle. Done. Do not talk about being drunk. Do not talk, you have to be very careful because it's an international audience.
Yes. Okay. I love that. I love that.
Thanks, Dean. Lovely to connect again.
Too.
I see there's a lot of questions coming in, so I don't know who's going to tell me.
So I see Buyani's hand is raised. Would you like to take him first, and then we can do the chat box?
Hi,
Okay.
Buyani.
Cool. Hi, Verity. Nice to meet you. I would like to know, you might have answered me to a certain extent with the previous explanation, but I would like to know, if you look at the world champion speeches, winning speeches, what are the few things, 1, 2, or 3 things that you'd say when you look at all those winning speeches are common? What is that one thing that each speech always demonstrate? From both content point of view and also from a, let's say, body language point of view.
Okay. So one or two things they always demonstrate. They always have a powerful personal story that is told in an engaging, delightful way. And that's where the body language will come in, and you'll see them walking across the stage and doing something. But it's not like, I am walking across the stage and now I am doing body language, and then it looks like a ridiculous amateur dramatic production. They are in the moment, they're having fun, but they are reliving their story. If you look at world champions across the board, that is the one common thing. They relive a personal story. And the other thing they have in common is they have a message that is fresh and unique and valuable for the audience. It is normally 10 words or less. It's a sticky statement. It's something that sticks in people's minds. It took me 90 days to come up with my pick up your pen and write a different story. But the message has a call to action in it, and it's something that the audience can apply to their lives. But your story can be about anything. It could be about learning to boil an egg. It doesn't have to be a traumatic, life-changing moment. It could be the smallest everyday moment, well told, relived on stage with a unique, exciting message. You could nail it. Great question. Thanks, Verani.
Thank you so much, Verity. Our next question is from the chat box from Tobacco, and she asks, you mentioned coaching. Where can we access coaches in preparation for contests?
Well, we're not cheap, I'm going to be honest. And that was my challenge so a lot of the world champions coach, and I reached out to Lance Miller, the 2005 world champion, when I was competing. I reached out to a few other world champions. They were triple what Lance was charging. So I had to, in lockdown, do what I could. My club actually helped raise money to pay for the coaching. I've been coaching people now for the last 3 years. I'm in my 4th contest season now coaching. I work with people all over the world. I've been lucky enough to have 4 of my clients reach the semifinals and the finals. I've had 15 in the semifinals and 4 in the finals the last 3 years. And every year I've had a client place 3rd in the world. I'm waiting for one of them to win, but it's amazing. But I always say, if you're wanting coaching, you've got to reach out and you've got to be cheeky, because we end up charging in dollars because most of the work is international. But for Southern African Toastmasters, if you come to me, I will always find a way to make it accessible. Hope that helps.
Oh, thank you, Verity. So our next question is from Cornelius John, and he asks, how did you choose the content of your winning speech?
So my semi-final speech was about my mum and the lesson she taught me to leave the world better than I found it, and her journey into depression and alcoholism when my dad died, and how even in rehab she still left people better than she found them, and how that had changed me. And when I won the District 74 contest, and I now had to wait 6 weeks to hear if my video from district was good enough to make the semi-final, I started looking for a second speech. And I was like, what do I write about? And then it got really easy. I thought, you know what? I am not going to get to heaven one day and have to explain to my father that I spoke about my mom for 7 months and I didn't write a speech about him. So I wrote about 6 or 7 speeches, stories of my dad, but at least I had, like, I knew I wanted it to be something about my father, a lesson I'd learned from him, but I wrote numerous speeches until I found the speech that ultimately became my winning speech.
Wow, Verity, you're so inclusive. So the next question I think is an amazing question. It's from our district director, and she asks, how did you manage a baby and winning? We all would like to know this one.
Yeah, I think he was 18 months old when I started competing, and I think because we were in lockdown, I was just in another room and the speeches only took 7 minutes. So little insight, the day that I won District 74 and my husband and came in with the baby and we were on camera, and then we switched off the camera and he went, he needs his nappy changed. Like, there was no red carpet, there was no trophy. I was like, oh, good, I'm a district champion. Let me go change the nappy. So it was very real. And the bottom line is, I would not be world champion if it wasn't for lockdown. I would not have been a Toastmaster and a new mother. I couldn't have been going to meetings, driving. I wouldn't have had capacity. So Zoom is the reason that I could balance being a mom and competing. And it was very lucky, very, very lucky.
Yes, your trophy, a baby. Oh, I love that story. That's beautiful. Next, we have Nomusa, and she asks, thank you for sharing your story, Verity. Please elaborate a bit further on how you bounced back from your setback. Secondly, what opportunities did you get out of winning the international speech contest?
Oh, wow. So the bouncing back from my setback, honestly, it's a continual journey. I think when it comes to managing mental health, stress, anxiety, I have, in the speech, I talk about writing a different story, which was basically changing my attitude and learning to be grateful for what I have in my life and what's working. So I continue to do that. But at the time, the early versions of the speech told the fuller story, which was I did a 100-day challenge on Facebook called the 100 Happy Days Challenge. And I highly recommend it to anyone. You can go and Google it. And you take one picture a day for 100 days of something that makes you happy. And that was one of the pivotal things. It got me into the habit of happiness, of noticing what was working, even though my ego thought my life did not look the way it was meant to look. And the way that shifted my energy, I was able to then turn my life around. I actually did the 100 Happy Days Challenge because the first version of my speech was about that. And I'd written it at 3 a.m. and I finished writing it and I knew that this was the story. This was the speech I wanted to share. And then I thought, well, when is the finals from here? I didn't even know if I was in the semifinals. And I checked and it was exactly 100 days away. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. So I started the 100 Happy Days Challenge while I was competing. And day 100, the post was sharing the fact that I'd won the World Championships. So it was pretty extraordinary. And those are the kind of things that have helped me get through setbacks. Oh, there was a second part. How does the World Championship change your life? Oh my word. Firstly, from a Toastmasters perspective, you suddenly belong to the entire organization. And if I hadn't had the district step forward to help me with Jasmine Hecht, helping to balance all the requests for district visits, and it was all online. So sometimes I'd visit 5 countries on a weekend. So balancing momhood then was tricky. It was a huge ask of me. And then it started going out that the world opened up again and I could fly to different countries and just be welcomed as, you know, basically world champions belong to Toastmasters, and everyone just hugs you. And for 2 days, I feel like Kate, when it was Kate Middleton, signing autographs. It's extraordinary. And then I come home and I'm just a middle-aged housewife, and it's fabulous because no one knows who I am. But it's been incredible, and professionally, it's probably 4 to 5 times my earning in my business and the work I do. It's made me on the faculty of the Graduate School of Business for the University of Cape Town, working all over Africa doing executive education on communication, which I didn't have credentials to get me that job. Everyone else is a professor. I'm the only person who doesn't have a postgraduate degree, but the title means that I'm on the faculty of a Graduate School of Business. So those are the kind of ways it can change someone's life. And the last bit I will give to you is whoever wins this contest, they get to choose whether it means something or not. A lot of world champions had to go back to their jobs. They were maybe an accountant, or they were doing something else completely. And for a year, you're the world champion, and then you go back to your life. And then there are world champions like myself, Darren LaCroix, Mark Brown, Craig Valentine, Lance Miller. If you see the ones who are active, they've chosen for this to be a career option for them as a coach and as a speaker. And so it's a choice. And it's one I've chosen because I love helping people get the most out of this journey. I'm giving you long impromptu answers.
You are truly you're truly writing a different story than the one we expected. Thank you, Verity. Our next question is from Nicola Mattison, and she asks, how important are the theatrics of winning, for winning?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So here's my take on the theatrics. If you actually look at the International Speech Contest ballot, 50% of the marks is for your speech development. 50%, half of the marks are for speech development, and 25% of that is for the value of the speech. Is it original? Is it adding value to the audience? So this is where you want to spend most of your work, that your story is valuable and it's well structured and it's got those speakers triplets and beautiful flow, all of that. 20% is language. So actually that's where the speakers triplets come in, and the alliteration and the language choice. So 70% of the mark is on the speech content. Only 30% is delivery. You can only get 10 points for body language. You can gesticulate over the stage. You're only going to get 10 points for that. 10 points is for voice, and 10 points is for your manner and enthusiasm. So I like to think of a great speech like a really nice cupcake. 70% of the cupcake is cake. It needs to be well baked. It needs to be moist. It needs to have delicious ingredients. It needs to be well thought through. 30% is icing. And if you've ever had a cupcake that had amazing icing, but the cake wasn't good, you're like, so you've got to get that right. And so for me, the way someone delivers a speech, yes, there can be energy, but is it authentic? You can't give someone 10 out of 10 for body language because they walked across the stage. Yes, this is body language, but it's not good body language. Did I feel like it was them? Was it authentic? Did it add to the speech? That's what should win. Sometimes judges get it wrong, and they don't look at the ballot correctly. So that's my take on it. It's my personal take. But coaching people now and getting them to the highest levels, that delivery for me has to be authentic. The body language can be intentional. We can have thought about what we're doing, but it still needs to look real and not overly rehearsed.
Verity, you're boiling eggs and you're baking cake, and it's close to my dinner time. And I don't know why you're doing this to me. So our last
please
question...
don't have a boiled egg in a cupcake. It sounds terrible.
Food, I'm thinking food. Our last question in the chat box is from Mercedes, and she's asking, how did you discover and sharpen your unique speaking voice or signature style over time?
Gosh, that is such a great question, and I'm stumped. Now I've got to think about it. How did I? To be honest, I did it on stage in front of audiences. And what I discovered, is that often my best speaking happens when it's not overly prepared. So the prepared speech contest is you want to do a really good prepared speech, but I'd learned a lot of my more conversational style, my playfulness, from being in front of an audience facilitating and discovering where my natural humor pieces lay or how I could use the stage. But I didn't just sit behind my desk writing it and thinking about it. I got on stage and I practiced in front of people and I reflected, okay, well, that didn't work. That really worked. They laughed. And then I would do that again the next time I did a speech. And I'm like, oh, that works. Keep it. So it was the hard knocks of getting on stage and learning through doing. And I think for all of us, you have to learn through doing, but you also need good feedback. Unfortunately, what happens is sometimes we're learning by watching people who aren't doing it correctly, and then we start mirroring their bad habits. I see this in the corporate world. You know, we've seen one person do death by PowerPoint, and then we think, oh, I must also do death by PowerPoint. No, please don't do that. But it's finding the right voices to help you improve, but improve in front of an audience. That's certainly where I learned.
These table topics to the max. If you ever wanted to table topics is working. That's how you discover your speaking voice, table topics.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
True. But actually, Estelle, that's beautiful that you're saying that. And this I will just add in for everyone. The way you write is not the way you speak. And I did a post recently saying, just because it looks good on the page doesn't mean it's going to look good on the stage. You have to step away from what you've written and speak it like you're speaking to a friend and find your conversational voice, because then you're not going to be standing on stage trying to remember very complicated, beautiful sentences. We speak in short sentences. We speak with short words. You know, we speak with energy. So write it, but then step away from it and speak it and go, oh, that's how I say it, and then rewrite it. That's why the impromptu helps you find your style.
Masterclass right here. So we have still a few minutes. If someone would like to ask one more question, then I see Cindy took up our challenge. What would you say is the appropriate dress code for doing a speech?
Great question, Cindy. And for me, this is a professional context, so it needs to be your authentic professional style. I sometimes see people dressing up because the speech was about something like, oh, I must come dressed as an astronaut. And I go, if you were booked to do a professional keynote in a corporate, unless you're an actual astronaut, maybe they want to see you in your outfit, would you do that? Or would you be in a suit saying, you could see me with my helmet on, and, you know, use your body language rather. So be professional. It needs to be authentically you, and especially comfortable. For ladies in particular, sometimes the heels we're wearing put us off balance. They mean we're not as grounded as we could be. So maybe wedges, something that makes you feel like I'm on the stage, I can walk, I'm not worrying about tripping. One of my clients last year, who she came third in the world, but in her district speech, she sent me the video while we were coaching and looking at her district speech. And I was like, your pants are too long. Were you not worried you were going to trip over them? She said, Verity, I had the worst experience. I can't believe I won. I was so worried I was going to trip over the pants. So comfortable, you, professional, and often like some bright color, something that's going to make you stand out on stage and be remembered. So that's my tips and tricks for that.
Thank you so much, Verity. Well, I came dressed as a tiger to a lion show, so I think anything will work. We have one more.
I should have seen. I have so many leopard prints and things. Roarcon. I don't know what. Here I am. I look like a flight attendant. What was I thinking?
Roarcon. It's leopard. Big hair.
Exactly.
Not to make you have our next question.
Thanks, Estelle. Hi, Verity. You mentioned coaching quite a bit, especially with your clients that have done well. How soon or early on in the journey should one consider professional coaching?
So it really depends on the speaker. So I have a lot of people that will come to me before club, And but then they'll say to me, Verity, I've never been able to win past division. I've got there 6 years in a row. Can I start working with you? And so I know they're already pretty good speakers, and I've been very lucky. Some of those people I've got to the semifinals twice. So it depends. A lot of people are coming to me now before their district contest, because there's no point winning district and not knowing if that speech is good enough to get to semifinals. I really believe the only reason I got to the semifinals is because I worked with a world champion for one session before district. It was very disruptive. I had to go and rewrite my speech. He challenged me. It was super uncomfortable. And if I hadn't listened, I think my speech would still have won District 74, and we all would have gone, that was a nice speech, but I don't think it would have got the international eyes on it. So it depends on the speaker. And again, nothing's guaranteed. We never know how the judging is going to go. We don't know what the other speakers are going to bring. So I always say coaching is for your growth, and awesome if you get the results you're looking for, because unfortunately we can't guarantee it, but it does seem to make a big difference if I look at all the other world champs who also can show how their clients go through the ranks. So it does seem to make a difference, but it depends on how serious someone wants to take all of this and how you want to approach the journey.
Thank you so much, Verity, for all your tips and tricks and your total masterclass that we received today. I must tell you, I'm part of your mailing list. And whenever I receive the email, it's like, hi, Stel, like you actually know who I am. And the voice that you use while you are speaking, while I'm reading, I can actually feel your energy. So thank you for having me on that list. And I just want to thank you on behalf of District 74. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And I hope you have a great, lovely rest of your evening. We will release you now. Thank you so much. Everyone, please give her a round of applause.
Yay!
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. And we even have some roars for you, Verity.
I love it. My final word. Here's my final piece. That's my last bit. Let's bring one of these back. Okay. No pressure, but let's do it. All right.
Yay! Next one for sure. Thank you so much, Verity. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Verity. We appreciate you.
So much love.
Exciting.
I'm going to go put my boy to bed. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Verity.
Bye.
Next on our agenda, we actually win some prizes. So the next item on our agenda is a trivia quiz. And I would like to welcome to the virtual stage to have this quiz with you, Leah Musunga. Leah.
Raw. I'm now saying raw instead of actually rowing. Yes, this is an opportunity for someone in our audience to win a ticket to the opening night of Roarcon in person. That will be taking place on a Thursday. So we have prepared a quiz. There are 20 questions, so it will be run on Zoom. So you'll see something pop up on your screen. There are 20 questions. The first 10 are about Toastmasters, and then after that, it will be some general knowledge type of questions. I'm sure you might be able to get some answers there, even if you might not know everything about Toastmasters. And this is just a way for us to learn something new. Maybe, hopefully, you will learn something new today. So I'm excited. I don't think the questions are hard, but I would say get ready. And like I said, the winner gets a ticket to our opening night on Thursday. So are you ready? Can I hear some roars? Roar.
Roar.
All right. I like those roars. All right. So I am now launching the quiz. So just give me a moment. So it's going to show a question one at a time. And I'll give you about maybe 5 to 7 minutes for you to complete the question. Something should have popped up on your screen.
Leah, it's popped up on question 12 already.
Question 12.
Yeah.
On my screen, it's showing question 1. Okay, let me just end and start it again. Hold on.
Yeah, on my side it was fine, hey?
Mine was
It was
also
showing
started
question
at
1.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was fine as well.
It
I
was
had
showing
question
question
one.
1.
And
Guess
mine
it
was
is.
12. Mine was
Sorry.
12 as well.
Mine was
So
12. Some got 12, some got 1.
Oh,
somebody
wow.
roared these polls to pieces.
Okay, let
It's
me try
rigged.
and because I said it should show one question at a time. Okay, let me try. Okay, let me just relaunch it.
Mama.
Number 1 it is.
Who is the founder and visionary of hearing on the what does the C
So you should be now, yeah. What does the C in Ralph C medley stand for? Some interesting solutions there. Someone is saying nothing from my side. If you're on your phone, because it's just it's like the polls or the quizzes that you launch in Zoom. Normally it just pops up unless you just joined the call. Then that's the only time you don't see it. The first Toastmasters club on the African continent. No, it didn't pop. Oh, I'm so sorry, Angie. Question 4. What year was the females allowed to?
Sorry, I'm trying
Yes,
to
Odessa?
submit. I'm still at question 1. I'm trying to submit, but nothing is happening.
You just select one of the options.
And then
I
push it up.
select, and
Yes,
then
then
it
push
comes
up the page. Push up the page and then you'll see the next question below.
up. Okay, let me try
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Thank you.
Scroll, yeah. Because I removed that showing one question at a time. Yeah, just scroll. You should be able to see. There are 20 questions in total. And question 5, name the first female international president in 1984. Who was it? What is the name of the trust that subsidized the membership for people? I hope the majority of you are seeing the poll. I can see people have started responding. Then I think yeah, I can see people have started responding. Question 5. Question 6, what's the name of the trust that subsidizes membership for people who are keen to join in Southern Africa? Is it the Toastmasters Trust, the Gamerson Trust, the Smedley Trust? Number 7, how many countries are in District 74? 5, 4, or 3? I think the questions are not hard. Name the countries in District 74. That could be a tricky one. We'll be learning today. Someone is saying hard is not the word, but they are challenging. Okay. Like I said, it's just the top 10 questions which are dealing with Toastmasters. Then after that, I'm sure if you have some general knowledge about different things, you will definitely get them. So you have an opportunity to answer those other 10, to get those other 10. What topics are not allowed in Toastmasters? Is it religion, politics, sex, or 3? Or none are prohibited? I also discovered that one today. Number 10, what does COT stand for? So those are the Toastmasters questions. What does COT stand for? Class of today, class of Toastmaster, club officer training, cost of Toastmasters. Cost of Toastmasters.
In my days, it was a thing that you put babies in.
And then, like I said, after that, we have some general knowledge questions. So from 11, I think those ones, I know some of them, the answers, it's multiple choice where you think the answer could be right. You don't know. So number 11, in the website browser address, what does WW stand for? What does WW stand for? Oh, I can see people are really answering. I think people went to the general knowledge questions. I can see lots of responses there already. Number 12, who painted the Mona Lisa? Was it Michelangelo, Vincent van Gogh, Leonardo da Vinci, Pablo Picasso? What is the capital of Lesotho? Okay, you can see lots of responses with that one. Is it Gaborone, Maseru, Windhoek, or Mbambani? Number 14, Lesotho was formed in 1824 by. Yeah, let's see if we know our African history. And then number 15, approximately 70% of Botswana is covered by what desert? How well do we know Southern Africa? 16, Pula literally means what in Setswana? Is it rain, land, desert, or it means yes? 17, what ocean borders Namibia on the west? How well do you know your geography? Is it the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic? Number 18, Namibia gained independence from South Africa in what year? 1990, 91, 89, 92? Number 19, what is the administrative capital of South Africa? Cape Town, Joburg, Pretoria, Durban. And number 20, how many colors are in the South African flag? 7, 6, 5, or 4? Yeah, interesting. The Rainbow Nation, as they say. I see we have about 25 people who have, I think, completed or finished. I'm not too sure, but it's saying 25 have answered, around 27, and we're sitting at 8 minutes since the quiz was launched. My goal was to just have it up for about 10 minutes, roughly. We'll see how many people have completed by then. Then after 10 minutes, I will then end the poll and share the results so you can see where you went right or where you went wrong. And then after that, I will go in the background to see who had the highest score out of 20. So we're left with about 1 more minute. If you want to win a prize to the opening night of Roarcon on Thursday evening, you're just left with just under 40 seconds. You see 36, 37 have completed. Now you guys are really answering. Yeah, just choose an answer. All right, we're slowly approaching 10 minutes. I hope you have had a chance to answer majority of the questions. I can see over 50% of the people here have responded. And with that, I will then proceed to end the poll. I hope you've had a chance to answer as quickly as you could, because we have about 70, okay, 70, it's now saying 78% have participated. Okay, let me give it 1 more minute. So in case someone has not yet finished answering all the questions, I'll just give it 30 more seconds since I was talking. Yeah, we're sitting at 78% participation. Ooh, 80%. Wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. Wow, I can see people rushing. 82%. Okay, if you haven't finished, unfortunately, like in all things, the time has to come to an end. So we have had about 82% participation, 41 out of 50, possible 50 people who could have participated have participated. So I guess just about 9 people. So I'm now going to end the poll and share the results. So you should now you should now be able to see what the correct answer was. So we had like question 1, who is the founder and visionary of Toastmasters International? The correct answer is Ralph C. Smedley. What does the C in Ralph C. Smedley stand for? It is chestnut. I can see it was a toss between chestnut and Chester. And then number 3, the first Toastmasters club on the continent of Africa was Joburg Toastmasters. I can see majority got that. What year were females allowed to participate in Toastmasters? And the answer is 1973. Wow, I can see 49% got that. Name the first female international president in 1994, Helen Blanchard. Number 6, what's the name of the trust that subsidizes membership? And that is the Gamerson Trust. How many countries are in District 74? That is 4. There are 4 countries. Name the countries. And the countries would be Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, and South Africa. I know it was a bit tricky with the other names I put there. What topics are not allowed in Toastmasters? The answer is actually none are prohibited. I actually went and looked that up. None are prohibited. It's Grapevine that tells us that all those 3 are prohibited, but it actually says none are prohibited. What does COT stand for? Club Officer Training. In a website browser, what does WW stand for? World Wide Web. Who painted the Mona Lisa? Leonardo da Vinci. What is the capital of Lesotho? Maseru. Lesotho was formed in 1824 by King Mushoshi the first. Apologies for mispronunciation. Approximately 70% of Botswana is covered by the Kalahari Desert. Pula literally means what in Setswana? It means rain. And what ocean borders Namibia on the west? Atlantic Ocean. And Namibia gained independence in 1990. And the administrative capital of South Africa is Pretoria. And the number of colors in the South African flag is 6. So I think at this point, I'll go in the background just to see who got the highest. And I'll let Estelle take over as she shares the winners of our upcoming Roarcon storytelling.
Thank you so much, Leia. I know how much work went into that amazing poll, and I know it was really, really, really hard. So I think you should not just give them a ticket to opening night. I think you personally, when they show up for opening night, you should give them a little small bag of Simba chips with a lion on it. So congratulations, you really deserve this one. Thank you so much, Leia. I'd like to now go over. You are welcome to go to the back, and as soon as we're done announcing all the finalists for the Roarcon show storytelling, Leia will come back and she will give us the winner for who is winning that opening night ticket. And thank you, Aldine, for loading the whiteboard. Is it possible so that we can just stop the sharing? Thank you so much. So I would like to announce, it's my honor, really, it's my honor to announce the finalists for the Roarcon Storytelling Challenge. These finalists is having their showcase on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Please be there. If I read your name and you're in the room, please put on your camera so that everyone can see. Our very first finalist, I'm going to read the introduction of the story, and then I'm going to tell you who our finalists are. When my parents gave birth to us, they were very excited. The nurse delivered a boy, and to the surprise of the mother, she carried another child, a baby girl. Those days, there were no scans, so everything was a surprise. Giving birth to twins was a double portion. Our very first finalist is Tafara Chengwe. Woohoo! Sir, if you're in the room, please put on your camera. Right, we will let you know offline. Our next finalist, the death certificate said death by COVID. He did refuse the vaccination. His company was registering a Chinese vaccine. He caught COVID, then he was hospitalized. He stopped breathing. He died after tasting his daughter's latest wine. That same night, 2 hospital cleaners died in changing rooms next to a bottle of wine. Why did they die? Our next finalist is Coraline Rutherford. If you're in the room, please put on your camera. Great, we will let you know offline. Our third finalist. Is your glass half empty or half full? As I hold this glass up in front of you today, what do you see? Do you see a glass that is half empty, or do you see a glass that is half full? Our finalist is Nicola Matheson. If you're in the room, please put on your camera. There you are! Woo! One of our roarers! Thank you so much. We will see you on Wednesday when we have the showcase. Our fourth finalist. CJ believes in second chances, opportunities to restart, or perhaps complete makeovers. Life has taught him everything destined for him will find its way to him, even if it means he has to repeat an event or an episode. Fact is, no man can deter their divine plan for his life. Our fourth finalist is Cornelius John Jansen. I know you're in the room. Please put on your camera.
I must fix my camera. Thank you.
We will wait for you. Thank you. We will see you on Wednesday. Our fifth finalist. Before 2020 and the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was an avid traveler, exploring new destinations. It was a vibrant journey filled with adventures that provided unique experiences, profound insights, and cherished memories. I'm excited to share one of these adventures and how COVID-19 has influenced it. Our fifth finalist is Hannah Schmidt. Hannah, I know you're in the room because you were one of our roarers. Woohoo! Thank you so much. There she is. There she is. Our sixth finalist is join our speaker on a hilarious journey through the torture device known as the morning commute. From mysterious roadworks, really mysterious roadworks, to middle lane hoggers, discovering why the M1 isn't just a highway. It's Johannesburg's largest car park with the world's highest parking fee. Our sixth finalist is Erica McKay. Ah, there she is. Our final finalist for storytelling is Fate converted me from a gynecologist to a gynecologist. My wife's miscarriage was an awakening. I sank from the pits of depression. I had failed to protect the person I loved the most from experiencing a pregnancy loss. While at hospitals, I heroically delivered triplets and quadruplets. Our final and last finalist is Nolo Malebane. If you're in the room, please put on your camera. We will let you know offline. Thank you so much, everyone who entered. We are looking forward to the contest on Wednesday. And I see Leah is back to give us the results. Leah, I'm handing back to you.
Thank you so much for that. And indeed, we're looking forward to hearing those stories on Wednesday. I'm really excited by that. And regarding our quiz, I know some people said it was a bit difficult. Oh, no, they're not difficult. They said challenging. I must say, based on how you responded, I don't know if you had a chance to Google the responses, but we actually had at least 14 people get more than 15 answers right. So like, okay, 14, 15, 16, 17, okay, 18 people get more than 15 answers right. So I'm like, wow, that's really great from a total of 41 that had actually submitted. So like, that's amazing. Almost 50% got 15 and above. So maybe my questions were too easy. I don't know. So now these are then I would say honorable mentions because they did really well. And these people got 18 out of 20. So these are the honorable mentions. So we have Lisedi Masinya, woo, you got 18. Ulrich Hamel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Davy McDonald got 18. And our winner of the night, who got 20 out of 20, we have Chris Bobmas. I think I'm not saying that right. I don't know if Chris is still here. Okay, I can see he's there on the chat. So you can just open your video. So our Zoom master can spotlight you. Well done. Oh, there he is. So Zoom master, oh, if you can just ask him to switch on his video and spotlight him. Oh, well done. So you win a ticket to the opening night on Thursday for Roarcon, which will be taking place in Mulder's Drift. Well done. I didn't expect everyone to get 100%, but yeah, you got 100%. Well done, well done. We'll reach out to you after the meeting to follow up on your prize. And with that said, I'll head back to you, Estelle.
Huge congratulations to each and every one of you who participated. That was hard, Leah. Wow. Thank you so much. And that brings our evening to an end. Everyone, if you could do me a huge favor, since it is Roarcon and we had our roarers in the beginning, will everybody please, as a thank you to all the games we had tonight, unmute and give us your biggest, best roar. In the mighty jungle, thank you so much, everyone. The lion will sleep tonight. Definitely after you got out all that roars. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow again. Same night, same time, same everything. Yes, bring the roars, bring the roars. Bring your roars tomorrow when you come back to Roarcon.
Remove seven remove Saboni Masha remove Abatenga Baba Imloyo remove seven remove Saboni Masha remove Abatenga
Daddy, I can't wait to see me and my dad at graduation. Please come. I really want to see you there. And if you don't, I won't be angry.
Yo, Dear Mungameli ngibhala lencwadi ngolukhulu usizi ngale RGP yami ethanda ukukhala inyembezi iWest kune forum ye-apartheid ilabafana abancane abangenalo ulwazi laleli khansela elingasahlali elokishini bayebe yonke imali sabagcina ngevoti ilezi igebengu ezimosha idemocracy ikhalisa izalukwazi futhi alisebenzi nebhoshi sebenzi nepitsi abafakanga nogesi kuneyinkinga usengishilo umfazi kodwa kulona iphutha lami mina ngiyazi ukuthi uyifakile imali bathi iduke eposini nama-textbook bathi ahambe notsotsi iy'kinga zesikole bathi igincike neloli yimo yithobayo PS isakhamuzi imloyo sebenzela abantu ababimbuke sabona impahla zabimbuke abathengana babimbuke baba imloyo sebenzela abantu ababimbuke sabona impahla zabimbuke abathengana babimbuke imloyo sebenzela abantu ababimbuke noma ngalani ekhaya Sampada, sebenzela mataba, samanganani kaya, Sampada.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. We're ending the meeting.